All right, so we're in. We are locked in and we're in. So, starting this out with Power Slap.
Power Slap.
The UFC.
The ultimate fighting form.
The ultimate fighting form. And so the Power Slap, for many people who may not know, is just a slap competition. So, lots of rules. There's a weighing in process, very similar to the MMA style for the UFC.
It's a full-on, regulated fight.
Oh, yeah, full-on regulated fight. They're all paired up. I think there's also even a TV show, like a reality TV show. They do that.
Why am I not surprised?
Yeah, they do that with the UFC, too. They have, like a fight companion, where they, it's a reality TV show for fighting. They do the same thing with the slap fighting. I have to admit, from the little bit that I've seen, the shit talking is so much better on the slap fighting. These guys know how to talk shit. But there's all of the same framework as far as the fight goes, but it literally is just slapping.
Yeah,
and these guys just
rules
hold
for form. You can't step. You're not supposed to flinch. You have to have your hand full flat contact, no clubbing, no punching.
Yeah. I don't know if we're going to get in trouble for playing this. Can we play it?
I mean, we can play it. It's whether or not you want to go through the effort of editing it into the...
I mean, it should play through the speaker on the Mac.
Oh, yeah.
But, dude, that's so rough.
Oh, that was a powerful slap right there. My man is down for the count.
And then they...
Stepping,
so he's stepping. So...
Clubbing. Yep. Okay, so they got all the rules, yep.
Yeah. So, Power Slap, UFC...
Oh, they have a countdown. You got to be able to stand back up and get back to the table. That's not in the European slap fighting circuit.
Yeah. So I was going to say... Yeah, that's the reality TV show part of it.
That looks staged.
Dude, I mean, it might not be staged. But the way that these guys talk shit, I can tell that if you put them all in the same house together, that this is what's going to happen. I think a lot of that stuff is real, but
might be played up a bit for showmanship. But
I mean, I think they all know that they're being filmed. I think it's more of them knowing that they're going to be filmed and that they're let me just get my clip. Camera. Let me get my clip, But so this is definitely taken by storm. I don't know what the payouts are, but I know it's the same structure as the UFC, and it's obviously done by Dana White. But the the thing that I thought was crazy is that Dana White actually made a press conference event about it, and someone brought one of the people asking questions was well, what about the concussions? And he was like, well, what about them?
It's fighting.
And they're like, yeah. And so what's fighting? And so I thought that too. And I'm like, whatever. These guys know what they're getting into, just like the other guys do.
Are you telling me there's no concussions in MMA fighting?
Yeah, exactly. So, and that was his perspective. But what he was saying, the only thing that I was like, wait, what? I was like, maybe you went too far. He said that there's less concussions in this than there are in MMA.
I mean,
or boxing. And I was like, maybe boxing. Because, boxing is... I mean, there's people who have died in boxing. Live died in a ring. Yeah. There's a few people.
Well, I mean...
But there's so many more rounds. Boxing is pretty strictly, blows to the head, There's punches to, to the body, too. But for the most part, I mean, it's a lot of rounds of punches to the head. So MMA, obviously, they also have, the rules where you're allowed to put someone up against the cage. You can just hold them there. The jiu-jitsu comes in, the wrestling comes in. These are all things that get away from getting punched in the head. Whereas if boxing, if they stop punching each other, the refs you got to punch them. Come on, punch him.
But
and more rounds.
I can kind of see it because when you're doing these slap competitions, you are limited to your upper body strength only because you're not supposed to step. Or anything like that. You can't wind up like with your entire body. You can wind up with your entire upper torso.
You can kneel and like hit though. It's pretty much it.
Yeah, but it still limits the full body.
It does.
Like if you're in MMA, when you're using your entire body, if you can get the entire power of your body behind one swing and you connect with the head, that's a high chance of a concussion right there. And boxing as well. They step when they punch.
Oh yeah.
You can't do that with slap fighting. Yeah. So I can kind of see how there's a potential for less concussions.
Right. Even if it's not even stepping, it's the stance.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So I can kind of see where he's coming from. I don't know the science behind it.
The fact that they're getting knocked out this easily though is pretty insane. So I mean, we'll just like let this kind of play a little bit, but with no audio. But and just watch these guys. I mean, these guys are getting knocked out. Yeah. And there's a lot of B-roll, but yeah, these guys they're definitely taking hits, and I don't know how many hits they actually get generally to like getting knocked out, but they're getting a few hits. Like every single hit has to be
I don't know
a little bit of a concussion.
I don't know much about the American thing. I haven't followed slap fighting closely, but I've watched a good couple of videos from the European/Russian circuit because that's where it kind of originated. And they went, I think, like 3 rounds where each person got a hit.
I think this dude's
like 3 or 4 rounds. So, you know, they did kind of have limits in the European circuit. Like I said, I don't know how it's structured for power slap. Stepping, foul.
Yeah, but it just seems like there's just... It's just them getting hit in the face.
Yeah, I mean, all the heads are all the shots are headshots.
Yeah.
So
there's like just them like getting hit in the face, and every single shot has to be a concussion. There's no way that you can get slapped in the face. There's not like a mild concussion happening.
I mean, if you're weak.
I don't
sauce.
know.
Like if I slap someone in the face, I don't know if I could give you a concussion without like really, really having everything go my way.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like
there's not a lot of weight in this limb.
I feel like what we've found is that there's actually a lot less force that's needed to give someone a concussion.
Well, I mean, medically speaking, a concussion is your brain impacting the side of your skull.
Yeah.
And getting bruised.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, but it is...
that looks like it could definitely induce a concussion.
It definitely does look... It definitely does seem like that it's definitely... It's a good... It's an entertaining sport, is what I'll say. It's entertaining, and it's definitely taking a lot of people by storm, I would say. The amount of slap. Look at Dana White's face just watching this guy go down.
He felt like a sack of bricks.
Yeah. No, it's a new beginning for sure to another fight. But yeah, I just thought that I would think the concussions would be higher here.
I think there's definitely potential for concussions. Yeah. Like you said, every shot's a headshot.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. So another funny thing. So are you familiar with Bill Burr?
Yes.
Comedian?
Yes.
Okay. Do you recognize Bill Burr in this picture?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you recognize the football player?
I recognize Bill Burr's look.
Cameron Johnston.
Cam Johnston.
Yeah. Who looks exactly like him.
Well, it's like the Red Hot Chili Peppers drummer looks like Will Ferrell.
I've never seen this.
You've never seen that?
No. Pull it up.
Oh. That's...
Yeah, just go off that bar.
Whatever.
Yeah, but Cameron Johnston, a football player on the Texans, looks exactly like Bill Burr.
Yeah, he had a drum off with the drummer.
No way. On the Jimmy Fallon show.
Yeah.
No way. I wouldn't say exactly. Is it exactly?
They're close. Close enough that it happens all the time.
I think they're wearing the same clothes.
They are wearing the same clothes.
I think they're white and they're wearing the same clothes. I think they look very different.
You're crazy.
Look at that picture. Look at that picture.
Yeah,
I see it a little bit there.
Give Will Ferrell some stubble.
Yeah. Yeah. And just the right facial expression, you can see it. Yeah. I see it there. But... Yeah. Okay, I see it there.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's way different. Yeah, so when you see them right next to each other, no way. But yeah, like while he's playing the drums, like, yeah, you can see it. Oh my God, that looks exactly like him. Which is even funnier because of Step Brothers.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's got to be the play. Yeah. Touch my drum set? No. It's watching Cops. Wow, that's amazing. I didn't know that. But then they both ended up on Jimmy Fallon.
Yep, and had a drum
Interesting. And had a drum off. Was Will Ferrell any good at drums? Do you know?
Oh, he was playing along to a pre-recorded track.
Oh.
I watched it, and I could see there were times where he was off time just a little bit, and the drum hit, and he hadn't quite hit it yet. Yeah, It's for entertainment.
Yeah, that's fun. That's funner. Couldn't it just be the way it was, and it'd still be funny?
I thought so. I would think so.
Yeah, who cares? Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, no one really expects Will Ferrell to be, a professional drummer.
Yeah. Yeah, Will Ferrell beating this actual professional drummer.
Yeah, part of a legendary
band. It would almost be better if he sucked. Right?
Which one's which?
Will's on the left. 100%. Like, you can tell them apart. You just can't tell them apart when they're not next to each other. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, when they're by themselves, it's like, is that?
Yeah.
Could that be?
Yeah.
And I think Will Ferrell has
That's a good picture, though. When he's, like, mid-set on the drums, blue shirt, blue hat. People look it up. Green tint to the drums.
Chad Smith. That's his name.
Chad Smith.
What a Chad.
What a Chad. Yeah, cool. Well, I didn't know that. So that's fun. So people look it up. As far as lookalikes, I think we're done there. That was fun. But so recent news. So this was actually just before I moved in.
Oh, before you moved in here?
Yeah. So transitioning to this cool fun fact. So what I didn't know. As you do know that I'm a new hunter. Just kind of get my feet wet into the whole thing. So
with a bow.
Yeah. New bow hunter. And just new to hunting in general. Just hunting for deer. Not a bear hunter. I mean, not yet. Don't know.
Are you allowed to hunt bear in PA?
Oh yeah. Yep. Black bear. A lot of black bear. There's a spring and a fall black bear, and you're only allowed to hunt deer in the fall, in like the October season. But there's like an extra season
for black bears.
Yeah, the fall season usually overlaps with the deer hunting, but then there's a spring bear hunting. But again, black bear, that's what we have in Pennsylvania. So again, I don't know a whole lot about it. I don't know what, like the complete details. Like, again, I'm still new, but there's a long history of people poaching or like baiting. Technically it's poaching, but like, because you're not allowed to bait an animal with anything. Like, you have to just go out there and hunt them using doughnuts. So hunters will take doughnuts and they'll just put them in trees. Put them inside trees and put them all in these like specific areas, and then come back the next day and then try to hunt these bears that come in looking for these doughnuts. So I thought this was like just like a one time, like someone got caught doing it, but no, there's been like years. There's tons of cases where like someone has figured out that
Bears have a sweet tooth.
They have they have this like sweet tooth, but like specifically for donuts, they really work. And I also share that sweet tooth with donuts. And so after reading all of this, I got really worried because I was like, if I hadn't already read this, like I would have found a donut in the woods, and bro, I probably would have eaten it. I'm not gonna lie to you. So I mean, I brought some
screaming at you.
Yeah, I brought some snacks with me when I'm taking my tree stand in, and you blow through them pretty quick. So if I'm like up moving around my tree stand and like bring it down, go somewhere else like middle of the day, and I stumbled upon a donut, I would be like fucking sick. I would like kind of look at it. I check the age of it. It probably didn't sit
still
there.
Feel fresh.
Yeah, I mean, like, cause like I don't think bears are gonna eat it if it's like too old or there's like too many bugs in it.
They're bears. They eat anything.
I know, but I think it loses the fact that donuts are the thing that works to lure them. I don't think that they're really gonna mess with them if they're too old. I'm just saying, like, it wouldn't have sat there for a week before I found it, so I would have found it pretty well preserved. And before I know it, I could end up in a bear trap. That's my theory.
Are you allowed to trap bears?
No.
Well, I mean,
you're also not allowed to bait them. Yeah. And so that's what people are getting caught doing, is like baiting, trapping bears with donuts. And it's wild. It is like, honestly, how many times that it happens is wild to me. And then even more wild than that is how many bear are actually in Pennsylvania, more to your point. So obviously we know there's a lot of deer. Most of the bears are northern and like a little bit closer to the Jersey. Yes, exactly. The Pocono area, a little bit closer to like the edges as well. Like New Jersey actually is per capita, New Jersey has the most black bear out of anywhere in the United States.
I'm imagining that's out in like the Pine Barrens.
Of course,
not like
right across
right across the bridge. From Philly.
But there are a lot. They have a lot of bear encounters similar to the one that we're about to discuss now. And also not to diminish the western Pennsylvania. Western Pennsylvania also the same thing. Very remote.
Yeah, Pennsyltucky.
Pennsyltucky. So they have a lot of bears out there too, but that doesn't count because we're on this side. So now this article is talking about a cub bear that is probably about 250 pounds. So cub, but still 250, pretty big. That was just roaming around Coatesville.
Just walking around Coatesville.
Yeah,
like, leaving a destructive path
in my neighborhood. Literally in my neighborhood, like the month we closed on the house in 2020, and I didn't know about it. I'm like just stumbling upon this article now, and the way that they got him was that they trapped him with Dunkin' Donuts.
That's illegal.
Well, I mean, like it was a wild game that they're trapping a bear that wasn't supposed to be in this area, and they released him up like northern Pennsylvania to where like a habitat that would actually like kind of suit him, but I bet that he was having a time just rummaging through trash. I mean, like the article in here goes on like a little bit about like how much destruction in like birdhouses and like just outdoor fixtures that the bear had fucked up. But it had been running amok for like a week before they like finally got him. But they had to set up a trap and they put Dunkin' Donuts in this trap, and it was just, I don't know. It was something I stumbled upon, and then I figured out like how much bears love donuts, and just in a simile that I love donuts is just as much. And I feel like I could.
That bear is my spirit animal.
Yeah, it could be, but I just being a new hunter, I was like, fuck, what if I like found myself and was like
in a bear trap?
Look at all of these donuts that are in here, and I just walk into a trap. I mean, they set them up pretty good. I mean, when you're in the woods, you can get really turned around. So, just saying.
Next thing you know, you're eating a donut, and now you're hanging upside down from a tree or something.
Yeah, I'm just like, and I'm sure they have like cams set up too. So like people are like getting like digital footage that's like getting sent to their phone like in real time. Like these are deer cams they have. They're like the XD, like they're digital. So like they'll take snapshots and like just send them right to your phone.
Activated.
Yeah.
Trail cams.
But usually they're on like an SD card. But like these new ones they have now, like they'll go directly to your phone. You'll get like a message, like a text being like
a notification, you know,
got some motion. Yeah, and it's just me eating the donuts. Yeah.
Bears and donuts.
It could happen. So people, it's
stay away from the forest donuts.
Yeah. So, actually, in fun fact, it was or could be still to this day legal to do in Alaska, as per Trump, and Biden has taken that away. So the Obama administration got rid of it in a bunch of states. The big
baiting
one,
and trapping.
Yes, but donuts.
Specifically with donuts.
It's specifically with donuts. That's what I'm saying. That's how crazy this is. They're like, hey, you can bait them with donuts. It's fine.
Hey, you can't bait them with donuts.
But Biden was like...
Specifically donuts.
Yeah, Biden was like, you know what? No.
The Bears don't need donuts.
Yeah, Obama knew what he was talking about. He got rid of it. Trump came in, was like, no, let them eat cake. and then Biden's pulling it back out, I think, before he inevitably leaves.
Eventually.
Yeah. He should go. Even if he wants to be president again, he should go. He should just have fun. Like, he did it, right? Like, I don't care what you believe in or what you did, whatever, or however you feel, but, like, he should just go back to being a human and not being the president, you know?
Go eat some ice cream,
He should be eating some ice cream and just be hanging out. I like, at this point and how bad it is, I feel like he should just be hanging out.
Oh, here's a fun fact for you that I saw the other day. Biden was born closer to Abraham Lincoln's presidency than his own.
What the fuck?
Abraham Lincoln's presidency ended
77.6
years before Biden was born, and his presidency started 78.2 years after he was born.
What the fuck?
I'm a big proponent for age limits for Congress.
Yeah.
You like when you get that old, the times have left you behind.
Yeah.
Because even now I have a hard time understanding some Gen Z humor, and I am 29.
Yeah. Our president shouldn't go like, wow, war in Ukraine.
When we have members of Congress asking if TikTok can hack the International Space Station through a cell phone, you don't understand how it works. You shouldn't be making decisions about these things.
I know. And if you think about the power that the government has, well, just the government has to, like, keep him in line, and it's just blatant disregard for all common sense. And, like, that's how bad it is. It's like, if we're seeing what we're seeing, how bad is it as soon as, like, he goes home, I don't know.
There's already
I think it's, like, too political, but, you know.
There's already a minimum age limit for, like, running for certain certain offices. There should be a maximum. There really should be.
Yeah.
And there should also be term limits for every position. I mean, originally it was a civic duty, not a career path.
I think that the president should have to pass a few tests. So intellectually, like, and I think...
What, like an IQ test or something?
Well, it doesn't have to be, like, I don't think that it has to be like, oh, do you know your math? It doesn't have to be that, but it has to be like where are you in touch? And I think that they always try to do that, like in their like candidacy.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I think that's already done. What I'm going to come up to next is that like they should all be able to pass a PACER test.
A PACER test.
Yes. You have not. What's the beginning of that?
The PACER test is.
That's it. You got it. No. You got it. You got it.
The PACER test is.
No, the voice. You got the voice.
Yeah, I can't remember what it actually is.
The PACER test comprised of 17 tests of something and something.
Aerobic exercise that progressively gets harder as it goes on.
As it goes on, yeah.
The Fitness Gram Pacer test.
The
Fitness Gram Pacer test is an aerobic test that progressively gets harder as it goes on.
Yeah, they should all be able to pass that.
Do you remember the push-up one?
Yeah. Up. Down.
1. Up.
Down.
2.
Yeah. Yeah, those kind of push-ups are rough. I do a lot of push-ups, but I don't do them that way.
What was your best on the pacer test? Do you remember?
I have no idea, and I was never in shape. I'm far more in shape now.
You're in better
than
shape now than you
was.
ever were in high school.
Yeah.
It's the opposite for me.
Yeah.
But I think I did like 68 or 67.
Yeah.
It's not great, but you know, the only people who like got into the 70s, 80s, 90s, 100s were like the people on the track team.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, people who play football, people like hockey,
cross country,
for sure, with the running back and forth on each side of the basketball court.
Yeah, there was one guy in my gym class when we did the pacer test who went until the tape ended, basically.
No way.
They cut out like 120 or something.
People were just hanging out, drinking
water. Yeah, we're all sitting there. I'm like
watching.
Trying not to die. Like I ran, like again, 67 or 68 was my best, and God, I put everything into that.
I would love to do the pacer test again.
I wouldn't. I'd probably collapse at 40.
Nah, I kind of want to do it.
But
dude,
I ran so hard.
I'm going to the
that
line.
I almost blacked out, and then after I unblacked out, I almost threw up.
Yeah.
Like I had the ringing, the tinnitus, and like the tunnel vision where it starts closing in, and I was like,
uh-oh.
This was after I'd already stopped. I stopped. I went to the water fountain, drank as much as I physically could, and then the tinnitus started, and I was just like...
Dude, I had a little bit of that on this year's Murph. When I did the Murph this year for Memorial... Yeah, for Memorial Day. Okay, yeah. So if anyone doesn't know what the Murph is, so Murph, which was... I don't want to mess up his rank in the military, but...
he was a service member.
Yeah, service member, I believe a Marine who fought in in Afghanistan for the war after 9/11, and his thing was that when he was deployed, he didn't have a place to work out. So his thing, he would be in full kit, so that meant like full gear,
like
combat
80 pounds
combat
worth
boot
of gear.
Yeah, all of his like whatever he had to wear
plate
every day.
Carrier and plates.
Yeah, and then a 25-pound plate carrier, which he also wore every day, and his helmet, and then some other stuff too. And every single day he would do 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, and 300 squats.
And then
just with his body, and then run 2 miles. So technically, the mile was supposed to start. You do the mile, you do 100 pull-ups, do 200 push-ups, do 300 squats, and then run a mile is what he would do in that order. And that is the original Murph. So nowadays it's become, kind of a decorated thing to do during Memorial Day to commemorate and to... I don't know what the right word is, but like to kind of like step it down and kind of stage it to like the right athletic ability that you are. People have like kind of done mini Murphs and like some other things and kind of the staging of it. So honestly, where I'm at, I do the mile with the plate carrier, and then all of the physical aspects, I'll do 10 pull-ups, 15 push-ups, or 5 pull-ups, 15 push-ups, 30 squats. And I think you do that like 20 times.
Yeah, what does that math out to?
Hang on. 5. Yeah, so it's 5. It's 5, 10, 15. So 5 pull-ups.
20 sets.
Yeah, so 5 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, 15 air squats,
that would
20 times.
That would come out to, yeah.
Yeah. So that's the workout, and then once you finish all that, again with a plate carrier on, then you do another mile, and that's the Murph. So my first year doing it, I did it in an hour and 15 minutes, the whole thing, which is like, that sucks. It's just an hour and 15 of just suck. And like there's
embrace the suck.
So the way that I did it to like keep myself on track is that like I would do the push-ups, the pull-ups, push-ups, and air squats. I try to get them all done under a minute. So like you're generally speaking, you're getting all of that done within like 30 seconds if you're lucky, and then you get 30 seconds to chill.
And then on to the next set.
And then on to the next set, on to the next set, on to the next set. So, like, usually, and with 20 sets, generally people don't do 20 sets unless you're, like... that's CrossFit territory of, like religious CrossFit dudes that are doing 20 sets a day. So like 20 sets is like rough. So I didn't do any prep this year. I got drunk the night before and then woke up and did it, to be honest. So I didn't do it nearly as much time, and I had to pull the plate carrier off for most of the workout. Because like at that point I was like, I've ruined my time, I've ruined the workout. I'm gonna just get through it, get my mile done. But yeah, it's brutal workout, but it's fun, and but it's a good baseline. And I think what we were saying, the pacer is another good benchmark.
Yeah,
but I wonder how I stack up now.
I did not do well. I would do even worse.
Yeah.
Today.
How many pull-ups do you think you can do?
How many pull-ups can I do now?
Yeah.
If I absolutely did my very bestest, I could probably pull 10.
Can we tell everybody your weight?
131 pounds.
Yeah. I might be close. I'm a little heavy these days. I'm at least like 185, 190. And like 10, 15 push-up or pull-ups in a set, we can do them. But like you start sizing that out, yeah,
it hurts.
Yeah, but it is amazing. Like, but I can't do that with a plate carrier. It's amazing what 25 pounds does.
Yeah,
and I try to explain that to other people too, who do gain weight or might be worried about gaining weight. Is that like you just put that 25 pounds on, and then walk around and try to do stuff, and then how much harder it is to do stuff. So like, it's just the idea of like, don't let yourself get out of shape, because as soon as you get out of shape, it's so hard to get back.
It's a climb.
And just 25 pounds or 20 pounds, like whatever the plate vest is probably closer to 20 pounds. Like 20 pounds is enough to like cut all of your reps in half. You can't do as many.
Yeah.
You know, so the same thing, like if you can't do as much with
how much do you think my backpack weighs that I carry for work?
It's probably 20.
Is that 20?
Yeah, you could work out with that.
Yeah, I could just work out with that.
Yeah, you should.
I mean, I walk around with that thing all the time.
Yeah, it's doing something for you. It's like a ruck.
Yeah,
they call it like a ruck in like military.
It sucks.
Yeah, rucking's cool too. It's actually like kind of taking the nation by storm.
Honestly, the biggest issue though with just my backpack is because I put the laptop in the back, it does not sit well against my back. It makes it so much more uncomfortable and like really pulls the straps into your arms. Like it sucks.
Yeah.
I took the laptop out and then just put a couple more tools in there for the weight. I think I could get back up to that weight and not destroy my shoulders.
Just separate take everything out of the laptop bag and just use that bag as a laptop, and then just put everything into your tool bag.
Tool bag's too bulky.
Okay, we're not going to discuss your organization skills. And if you want to if anyone knows, Adrian shouldn't be going to bat with me on organization.
What do you mean? My van's spotless right now.
Is it spotless? Why is it spotless?
Because I work hard to keep my van clean.
So key words, he didn't lie, is to keep it clean. Everyone needs to know that he did not say that he cleaned his van.
I also didn't dirty it.
That doesn't matter. I think we all know who cleaned your van and made it to the van that it is today, that you hold true. There's a difference. Yeah, but the pacer test, I think I need to find that audio.
Well,
I think I need to find. There's also like the pacer test was for like running, and it was for push-ups, pull-ups.
Well, no, the pacer test was for running. The fitness gram, which is the program that the pacer test is part of it.
Down, yeah.
Encompasses a bunch of things. It encompasses the pacer test. It encompasses
okay, so that's what you were saying.
Pull-ups.
Yeah, so the people who did really good were the runners. For the pacer, the pacer test was just running.
Yes.
And it was just like back and forth, and then if you couldn't get back to the beep, you were out.
You got one miss, and you were allowed to keep going. But the second miss, you were done.
Yeah, it's like an endurance thing.
It is.
Like you need to know.
That's why I said cross country.
Yeah, but it's not even that like you have to know that you have the capacity to do it. It's also like knowing like win? How fast do I go in the first one?
You need to pace
how fast do I go
yourself.
in the first 15?
It's the pacer test.
Yeah, how fast do I go in the first 25? You know?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, now I got to hustle. Now I got to hustle.
Every time.
Yeah. I want to do it.
But I do remember one thing from the FitnessGram program, and that was the standing long jump. And that's the thing that I dominated at.
Like a vertical.
No. Vertical.
Oh, that's the horizontal.
Yes.
So like you're just like...
No running start. You just stand at the end of the mat and you jump forward as far as you can.
Yeah.
My best at the end of gym class, like at the end, I think it was junior year, because I didn't have gym class in senior.
The NFL right now is at the edge of their seat. They're like, how far?
111 inches.
We'll sign him. We'll fucking sign him.
111 inches. That's like 9 feet.
Damn.
And then with a running start, I jumped clean over the mat.
Holy fuck.
Which wasn't part of the test, but I wanted to see if I could do it.
Let's see if you can do it again.
The last time I tried it was when I was still working at Kia, so about a year ago. And it wasn't quite that far, but it was far enough. I forget if we actually...
Did you do it at Kia?
Yeah. In fucking steel-toed boots.
Oh, my God.
It wasn't as far. I forget if we actually measured it, but it was enough that everyone was... Because I had mentioned it, and they're like, no way.
Yeah.
You didn't do that.
Yeah.
So I just
like,
jumped.
Oh, yeah? You want to see me go from here to there?
They're like, how'd you get over there? That was the one thing that I actually topped the class in.
Yeah.
And I beat... I'm not going to say his name, but he was... over 6 foot tall on the basketball team. He was not happy about it.
Pissed.
He beat me in the vertical, obviously.
Yeah.
But, he...
well, I mean, so, like, the vertical, though, is, like, how far do you start, and then how far do you jump?
Yes, they measure where you start, and then where you jump. So it's not, like, how tall you are. It's just strictly how high you can jump.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he wasn't able to beat me at the beginning of the class. And then,
But if you're taller, like you like an accordion down, and you can just like propel up.
I'm not sure if being tall necessarily, is 100% to your benefit.
Isn't like the geometry of that like
maybe you get a bit more
leverage,
acceleration.
Yeah,
I would say
acceleration probably from leverage.
Well, no, just because you can accelerate your body up a greater distance before your feet even leave the ground. So that means like you have more range of travel to be pushing into the ground to launch yourself up. Maybe.
That's what I'm thinking. I just don't know if leverage is the right word.
Not really.
It's not it.
It's not really leverage.
Okay. All right.
But he wasn't able to outjump me at the beginning of the year, and at the end of the year he jumped farther than I did at the beginning of the year, but then I jumped even farther. So he was not happy. Because he jumped past that. He walked past me. He's like, beat that.
Yeah.
I was like, bet.
Yeah. Dude, school. It's been forever since we've been in school.
It's a weird thing. 11 years for me and 10 for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, it's been a decade since I've been in school.
Yeah, you're getting old.
That's wild. Hey, speaking of decades, let's go through the decades of Ball
Seamless
Company.
transition.
Because Ball Company apparently has got some military contracts in its career under its belt. So Ball, everybody knows Ball brand.
They're most well known for their mason jars.
Right, they make their mason jars. That's where that's where everybody knows about Ball. Other than that, no one has heard of them. And they've fallen under the wayside, and they've been trading on the stock market since like the early 1900s. So it's pretty amazing how well they've done on just making some glass, but it's also amazing how early it was that they got military contracts. It didn't take much for them to have a lot of cash and a lot of area and land and like a factory space for them to just be like, we can just branch out. We're just going to do this. And then before you know it, they're making equipment for NASA. So 1995, Bell Space Aerospace delivers delivers corrective optics to repair the Hubble Space Telescope.
So to expand on that specific one, because that's something I know.
Yeah.
When we made the Hubble Space Telescope, obviously it's got a glass optic. That's how telescopes work.
Yep.
And it was made correctly. The issue was the measurements they used were incorrect. So when they fired up Hubble Space Telescope and it looked through this perfectly made, incorrectly measured lens, everything was blurry. And, at first we're all like, oh, what the hell happened? And, we spent so much money on this thing, and it barely works. So they basically gave it a giant contact lens. They had to remove, I forget the exact piece of equipment they removed, but it was like a bonus piece of equipment that, did science for, it studied like a particular wavelength of light or something, I forget. But they took that out to make room, and they put in this corrective lens. Not the size of the full lens, but I guess where it kind of focused it into the actual sensor. And that corrected it. And Ball Aerospace, the same company that makes mason jars, made that corrective lens.
Yeah, and so like it's Ball Company.
Ball Corporation.
And then like Ball Corporation, but Ball also has Ball Aerospace
and Technology,
which started in the 1950s. They got their first contract, and I forget exactly what they were doing, but that's how it started. And like again, like just I think it was their brothers who started it, the Ball brothers, and just kind of putting like money together and like canning things and jarring things was like really the way, and like just streamlining it, making factories to make all of this stuff possible was how they got the cash to do this. And the fact that they needed so much space to do this, and like they moved to different areas that like accommodated that space, and like to have factories and whatnot, it just left them wide open to be like the perfect person to also like have side adventures, side quests, into the aerospace and military contracts. It's wild. Ball actually also like sponsors a stadium, I think in like Chicago or something. It's wild.
They're just rolling in money. Aren't
yeah,
they?
dude.
They no longer make glass jars.
It's a $1 billion company,
yeah.
Well over. It's heavily traded.
The future.
Yeah. But yeah, there's tons of aerospace stuff. But anything like cool that you're seeing?
Yeah, they built the optical technology and lightweight mirror system for the James Webb
Telescope. That was literally just
launched a year ago.
Just launched, and they did it.
That's
and
crazy.
Who would have thought?
The company that makes mason jars
is also making the lens for the James Webb Telescope.
James Webb Space Telescope. Nuts.
Yep.
Talk about a diverse portfolio.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, we make jars, we make cans, we make space
optics,
telescopes and satellites.
Yeah.
Probably have a hand in like some missile technology.
Oh yeah, that was the early project. Is like they started like manufacturing missiles. What is that?
The company produces space systems, engineering products, telecommunications technology, electro-optics, and cryogenic materials for government and commercial customers.
Yeah, but they're looking at a missile cap.
Yeah, that looks
right
like
now.
A warhead.
Yeah. So, 1956. Wild.
Crazy company.
Yeah. Yep. All company, fellas. But bringing it back down to Earth here from space. So we have houses that are just collapsing into the ground in Utah.
Why?
So Draper, Utah, there's a new construction homes that were being built in this one specific area in Draper, and there was a ravine there originally, and then they were filled with what they're calling composite dirt, and the composite dirt didn't react the way that they thought it was going to react with the ravine. So I don't know how active the ravine is, but basically
does it have a river in it?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it's like like generally that's how a ravine is made. Is with water.
I mean, it can dry out. I just didn't know if this was still...
so that's what I'm saying. That's what I was gonna say. Is I don't know if there's still water in it, but I think either they didn't pack it down enough, and then once it rained, or water just kind of fell into it, that was enough to bring the houses down. Or if it was the fact that, like what you're saying, is that like, hey, did water come back? Is there still water in it? Has someone did any research? But basically they filled the ravine and then put houses on it, and they're sinking. So hey, that's not it. What's happening? But yeah, they're sinking, and it's definitely a situation. But can you imagine just buying a brand new home and then
it's gone,
and then it's gone? So the way that, like, I was super curious about this, but the way that this like shook down is that, like, the people who bought these houses, like, they weren't just in it, and like some of it started to just like slide away, and they were like, hey, could there maybe be an issue? But they found like big cracks in the foundation in their basements. So that was the first like telltale sign. And then, dude, none of the doors were closing. All of their doors, like the frames were starting to slide, and they were like, no, something's up. And they came out and they evacuated everybody.
Yeah, condemned it immediately.
Yeah.
No, that's see, sinkholes, like, I know this isn't exactly the same, but sinkholes are one of like the few natural phenomena that genuinely terrify me, because they kind of just open up out of nowhere sometimes.
Yeah.
And they drop like 100 feet down.
Yeah, I mean, out of nowhere, maybe.
Sometimes.
Yeah. What about this one in KOP? Was that one
That was a water main that broke.
And then it just made that happen.
It just ran, like the water flowed.
Yeah.
Pulled away the dirt underneath the road.
Yeah, because my house is from the 1960s, so I have a pretty strong belief that it's been here long enough to say that it's probably not going to fall from like anything else. There's
again, like, if there's like an underground water flow that we're just like not aware of, and it just slowly erodes over time, like, there's no saying when that collapses.
I mean, we get some water, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. But I mean, like, sinkholes generally are caused by like an aquifer or like a permanent underwater body. Yeah. Or, river.
Yeah.
That chews away at the ground above until it just caves in.
Yeah.
So if we build somewhere and we're not aware that there's like an underground like aquifer or something, 30 years down the line, the whole building just falls down.
Yeah, I think it'd be 30 years though.
Could be.
Maybe like 5.
Like I said, there's really no way to know if we're not looking for it.
Yeah,
if we're aware,
they just pop up.
If we're aware that there's like an aquifer or something down there, then we can monitor it. But like, I'm just saying, sinkholes have the potential to be this thing that just opens up out of nowhere.
Yeah, dude. How about the floods in Spain? Did you see that?
No.
I mean, we also got some really bad floods in New Jersey.
Crazy weather here lately.
Like New York and parts of New Jersey that all got like crazy floods. Actually, I think I read something that said that they got more rain than they would have gotten on a normal year at this time in 2 months. They got 2 months worth of rain in 1 day.
2 months worth of rain in 1 day.
In 1 day. Which is what caused all of the flash flood.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
It's not a normal scenario that they get flooding like that. They're like, yeah, we get some floods here and there, but like, this is insane.
Is this Jersey or is this Spain?
That was New York.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's going on in Spain?
Yeah, so like New York, like, and then also, I guess it was more like western parts of New Jersey that were like getting flooding, which is crazy. Yeah.
So what was going on in Spain?
Oh, so Spain got the same thing, but they got even more. I mean, Spain had like feet of water, like water rushing so quickly that it was taking cars away. I don't know exactly where, but yeah, but enough water where people were driving in the middle of the day and then like hopped out of their car and they were like, what the fuck? And like they were like on top of their car and the car is just like floating away. They had nowhere else to go, and like the water's rushing so fast you can see people like holding onto trees. and like just trying to like hold on. Like they're just helpless because like if you jumped off the car, you're gonna get taken away. And like someone in New York, a lady died trying to like leave her house. I think she got swept away and probably drowned, but I don't know exactly. But
yeah,
but it's wild. But yeah, I mean, a similar scenario happened in Spain. I don't know if it happens more often there, but I mean, it was wild. I see how much water going on the street, crazy. But
I mean, we've been getting like pretty severe thunderstorms here as well. Like tornado. Yeah. How many tornadoes have we had this year so far in this area? Know. It's like 3 or 4.
But it's always more than you think. Because like when they happen, like we have like thunderstorms a lot of times, and then like they just go and they pass, and then like you see in the news the next day, like like New Jersey like hit with a tornado, or like northern Pennsylvania like hit with a tornado, and you're like, holy shit, like we just get hit with thunderstorms, and like but other parts are getting like that tornado that came from
like
that.
Our specific area here. Though, like we had maybe 1 tornado warning last year.
Well, when we first moved in 2020, that August, there was a tornado that touched down in Cochranville, which is closer to the Pennsylvania Maryland border. But it's a farmland kind of area, mm-hmm. But yeah, it like ripped through that place. Like it was pretty bad. But yeah, I mean, like Pennsylvania, we get them, we just don't get them bad. And like also, I think there's like a like them touching down and then kind of doing something and then going away. But so we get a lot of those, but I think for our area, I think as far as like, I mean,
I feel like we've gotten a lot more tornado warnings.
Yeah,
this
now
year
I'm thinking
than
about
previous.
it. I feel maybe we have gotten more. Damn.
Yeah, we've had like 3 or 4 tornadoes touch down within like, 20, 30 miles of
us.
Our neighborhoods.
Whatnot.
Us. Like it's
from me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I think either way, like, I know that they happen, but like they just never like, I guess I never put in perspective too, like 30 miles is not that far away. I was going to say they don't happen here, but I'm like, fuck, like 30 miles is close enough for a tornado to come straight through. And that's kind of what like happened that last one we just had, which touched down in Chester County. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. But it's crazy to think about, It's just like such a helplessness too.
Yeah, I don't know if my insurance covers tornadoes.
Fuck, I don't think anybody's does.
If I lived in Tornado Alley, you could get. I'm pretty sure you can get like a tornado policy.
Well, I guess like
just like when you're in Florida, you have like hurricane like flooding insurance.
Yeah, but like act of nature, right? Or
act of God.
Act of God. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's kind of in that.
Maybe.
Better be. Fuck that.
Read your policy.
Yeah, read your policy. Dude, I just drove past an automotive shop. There was a 2013 Tundra that was just, it looked like it had rolled over, but like it got smashed in too many places. And I was like, I bet a tree fell in that fucking thing.
I mean, if it rolled, it would get smashed in many places, though.
I know, but just the way that like the bed was smashed, and the way like the top was smashed, and the way that the front was smashed, I was like, I don't know. Could have been 50-50. You're right. I'm not saying that it was, but like I had like just kind of money on that because of how bad the storms were. But
it was right after.
Not long.
Okay.
Yeah. And who knows? I mean, I hadn't been by there like in before or after, so like it may have been sitting there like for a while, and I just happened to roll past it like a week or two later. But it looked like it got smashed.
Regardless, it's total.
Yeah. Hey, well, it's better than your house falling.
Yeah, down a ravine.
But yeah, apparently this is actually, I mean, I know this is like news for us, but apparently this is a thing. Like there's a lot of like new developments and like people living on top of ravines that like they don't like fall like this bad, but there's a lot of times where like this starts to happen.
Sink.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, but
how do
also
you fill in a whole ass ravine. Like, that just seems like a bad idea to me.
I know. It does, until you figure out that in the 1850s and 1860s that we were raising entire brick buildings, like 10 buildings in a row in a city street before they even had paved roads. They were building, or they were raising these streets in Chicago. So it's Lake Street, Chicago, downtown. There's about like 10 buildings that are all in a row. I think it's like 320 feet long. I mean, hundreds of tons of weight. And this contractor literally picked up these buildings and raised them like over 6 feet. And just raised them and like put a new foundation down, and like that is what gave them the way to be able to pave the roads and put a foundation back into the roads. So like the whole start of this was because of how bad the roads were, like how bad the conditions of like rain and snow and mud.
Just poor drainage.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Yes, exactly. So they also had terrible drainage, and I think they used this point too to start the drainage system that they have in
storm drains. And
which has also been revamped. That's another podcast. Is the I mean, it's like a $17 billion operation. Like, Chicago's redoing their entire drain system, but we'll get into that later. But more importantly, they started the drain system here, and they had to like raise all these buildings to put that infrastructure in, and then like actually pave the roads. So, and while they did this, dude, the fun fact of it is that all of those businesses stayed open. Everybody like still worked in all these businesses and like lived above the places, and like they just lived there, and they just like, as they worked and as they lived, they were just like slowly rising. Yeah, and every day they would walk out, it's a little higher. You know, it's crazy.
So this is in the 1800s. So
1860.
You don't have electricity to worry about.
Right.
I mean, water? Running water?
Maybe. Plumbing.
Plumbing might be an issue.
Yeah, I probably didn't have water. Like, yeah, no poping. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if they had running water.
Yeah, no, I didn't know about like this specifically.
I have to assume there's no running water, and I have to assume that there's no like toilet systems that are there. So yeah, it is pretty like literally brick and mortar. But yeah, so then they there was a bunch of stuff that they also did. So on top of that, like the same people that were all like organized with that did a lot of work, and they also did stuff where they were like relocating buildings. Oh, wait, shit!
Go back
too
up.
far. Too far? No.
Hang on. One patron was puzzled to note that the front steps leading from the street into the hotel were becoming steeper every day, and that when he checked out, the windows were several feet above his head, whereas before they had been at eye level.
That's what. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so like that's what I'm saying. Like one day, like you would like wake up in the morning, you leave for work, or like you leave to do whatever. If you just lived in one of those buildings, and then you come back and it was just like another foot higher. And every day it was just a little bit higher. And it took a team of 600 guys to do all of this. Mm-hmm. It's wild. And they got so good at it, but like by like the late 1800s, they're moving whole buildings, whole businesses just down the street. And they did it so often that it was almost like normal traffic. Just on stagecoach or horseback, they were just moving buildings down. I mean, like tens to hundreds of it every day. They were just like moving shit around. Like they just figured out how they could do it, and they couldn't stop selling it to people.
It was consequently the practice of putting the old multi-story intact and furnished wooden buildings, sometimes entire rows of them en bloc, on rollers and moving them to the outskirts of town or to the suburbs was so common as to be considered nothing more than routine traffic.
Exactly. Yeah.
You pull up to an intersection, you're like, oh great, I gotta wait for the whole block to roll by.
I gotta wait for the Hampton Hotel to go by. Fuck. But yeah, dude, it was it's pretty crazy, and now like you don't see that. We don't do it anymore.
We just build new shit. During my stay in the city that I did not meet one or more houses shifting their quarters.
Yeah, how wild is that? I mean, early 1800s, they're just moving buildings.
People are just doing whatever they want out
here.
They
just did whatever they wanted. That's the America we're looking for. I'm gonna just pick my house up and go.
Just roll it down the street.
I'm just gonna go put it in just some high-end, nice Westchester area code. Just bring that property tax to.
Yeah, bring that property value down for me, huh?
Yeah, let's go move it to somewhere worse. Bring the property value down. Pay less taxes.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about. But yeah, so this is like so cool, man. I mean, just being able to move stuff like this, like way back in the day. And then I think they were also saying that they started with like trying to like reinforce some of the bigger places with wood, and they realized that it wasn't gonna work out, and it was like this just not good enough. Like we did all this work and it's just not gonna last. And so what they did was like if they had like this like big I forget what that building is. I think it's like a hotel, I think is the one that they're referencing. They just built a brick like a mason block to set it on instead. So they were like gonna raise it, and they were like, you know what, let's just move it over here, and we'll just make all of this like this
it was saying foundation. That like the wood frame buildings that were there were no longer good enough for the rapidly, increasingly wealthy Chicago.
All the shitty
wood
places,
shitty buildings
they just moved them out
and move them somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they build like new block, like mason buildings.
Yeah, we just move all the shitty places out. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I think we might have done that in like other cities too.
Yeah.
Like we need to move a building.
No, this is just Chicago. I didn't look into anything else, but I mean, Chicago is out there doing it.
I have a vague memory of like watching some documentary or something on YouTube of how they had moved buildings, and like one of them was like an office building, and the employees stayed in the building while they were moving. Not while they were just raising it, but while they were rolling this building around the block.
They stayed. Yep.
And just doing their work. And like, oh yeah, I didn't even notice we moved. And then I walked out and I'm in a different block.
Yeah. Yeah, when something's so big like that, it's kind of like, it's almost eerie to think that it could just move and you wouldn't even notice.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I guess it's kind of like a house's settle, too.
You can't really move it too fast, regardless.
Oh,
it's
no.
Massive.
Yeah, no.
If I feel G-forces in a building, that's a problem.
Yeah. Dude, speaking of that, I also, I figured out that you can just, pick up and move a shed. And I also thought that was crazy. I was like, you just move a shed? Like, I was like, I was was like, you just
move a shed?
You can just move a shed?
Boy, do I have some news for you.
Yeah. We've been moving buildings, buddy, since 1860. Don't you worry. We've got this under control. Got electronics and diesel engines. We got this.
You were surprised by moving sheds, but you never saw the mobile homes on trailers being transported to a
but once they're set, then
once they're set, but that's still a whole house on going 60 down the highway.
That is true. It's a house doing 60. Yeah. What else? The covered ball. So Felicity. You haven't heard of Felicity. So Felicity, a city on the outskirts of... So Felicity is technically California. Yuma is Arizona, which is the other city that it borders. And then it also technically borders Nevada, but I think it's not as close. And nobody really liked to delve into which city that was close enough to. I forget where. So, but either way, it is at the lowest southernmost eastern portion of California.
So away from the ocean, closer inland.
Yeah. So it's only 8 miles wide, the whole city, and they call it the center of the world, is what it's called. So this guy who's said to be a Rockefeller is he bought this land in 1960 or 59, I think. I think it was 1859, and then it was not until the 1960s that he actually turned it into this place.
You said he's said to be a Rockefeller?
That's what people like to speculate. So he was originally from Europe, which is why the people think that he's a part of the Rockefeller family, and then fled Europe because of the Nazi invasion in the early 1940s.
Europe in the
his family
early 40s.
Yeah. So comes over here and then enlists in the army. He's a Marine, does really well, like corporal status, and he also is someone who he had a huge influence in like the parachuting industry, and actually making it like kind of helped set the foundation for like the parachuting to be like a thing, especially in the military. And he was like the first one of the guys of the first flagship of it. So once he got out, he was like, I'm going to make a parachuting business. He's like, this is what I did in the military. I'm going to make a whole business out of it. So reportedly, that's where he got his money. But people speculate that he's a part of the Rockefeller family. And that's how he got this much money. So he literally technically bought like 8 miles worth of California. Who knows how much that was. And then once he got there, look at this place. He built a pyramid. And on that pyramid, from that door, you can, and on the other side of that is a church. And you can see that. And the whole place is like a monument. It's a monument to a bunch of veterans, a bunch of like California things, and a bunch of like, I think a lot of like Indian culture as well. His wife's name is Felicity.
Mm-hmm. So he named the city after his wife.
A little weird. I don't know if you know much about cults, but my eyebrows went, what? So, but it's a weird little place, and then it has this little pyramid. It's also it's got a staircase that was built
to nothing.
Yeah, the staircase goes to nothing, but the staircase was originally used during the construction of the Eiffel Tower.
No,
he bought it in an auction. And then just set it there for funsies. Yeah, so it's but you can see it from the highway, and then this is like a lot of like the monument stuff. Yeah, it's like a beautiful granite, and everything's all like carved into it. So there's like tons of money into this. It's a really beautiful place, and it's not hidden. It's not hidden, but it's just not known of.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it just hasn't like really caught that kind of wind. But it's weird that they call it like the center of the world. You know?
Yeah. What's
I don't know
behind that?
I don't know. I think that this guy just likes the fact, and like look at that chapel. Go back down to that chapel. Because I don't think it's. How can it be the center of the world, right? What is the center of the world?
Oh well, apparently right here.
Yeah.
Why not the center of the world?
Yeah, but I think this.
The New York Times reporter when asked to elaborate.
Yeah. So what this that land used to be, I think, used to be a military base.
What's this guy's actual name? Jacques André Istel.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to look into that further.
Probably pronounce Jacques. I think it's just Jacques. Yeah, Jacques Andrews Estelle.
I don't know. I haven't had French class in years.
Yeah. But I think that's my best pronunciation of that. But yeah, then like just the pyramid, and then the chapel right across from it that's like perfectly placed. And they say if you go into the pyramid and you look at the chapel, or if you go into the chapel, look at the pyramid, you get to make a wish. I don't know. There's all kinds of like weird, culty like things about this place, and like it just, to me, it gives off a weird vibe, and it's like weirdly perfect. So also like it's got a population of 2 people. It's like him and his wife. You know, and I think like now more people live there, so like sort of kind of feels like a cult. Yeah, look at that chapel. It's crazy.
It's just kind of there.
Yeah, but everything is like, all of this is like, why? You know, like it's all beautiful, it's all great, it's cool, but like everything about this is like, why? This is just like somebody being rich and like trying to make something that's like. Just trying to make something that's like, that's cool.
Yeah,
I think.
I told my wife, I don't know what I'm going to do with this bare land, but it has to be entertaining.
Yeah.
So he just filled it up with whatever tickled his fancy, I guess.
But a pyramid seems.
Oh, there's no eyeball on top of it, so we know it's not the Illuminati.
Well, maybe we didn't look close enough. We didn't look close enough.
Apparently, that pyramid is to mark it as the center of the world.
Yes. Yeah.
And if you ask why it's the center of the world, well, the answer is why not?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like why not? Why wouldn't it be the center? Wouldn't right here be the center of the world?
Why couldn't it
be? Yeah, why couldn't it be? Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's pretty weird, pretty cool, but Arizona. So, I mean, if
like a bit of a
people want to go check it out,
bit,
you can.
A little bit of eccentric billionaire or something.
Yeah.
Strange.
Yeah, I just don't know like how much it would cost like to buy that kind of land. I mean, he bought it like pretty way back in the day.
Yeah, way back in the day, it would be significantly cheaper than now.
Yeah, Felicity, California. Boom, Pontiac Stinger hit you with it.
What about it?
What do you think?
I think it's bizarre, but it's like fun in that really 90s way. Like this could not exist any other time.
Well, it never existed.
No.
It was a concept.
Oh, 89. Wow, it was ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I have heard of this thing. I think there were inserts in the doors that you could pull out and use as coolers or something.
Yeah?
Yeah, scroll down. Right there, yeah. That.
Yeah, they definitely look like coolers to me. I thought they just came out. I didn't know they were coolers.
Well, see, they're not there, like, in that picture.
That's because they're off drinking and playing volleyball.
Yep, and, you know, keeping their beers cold with their Pontiac Stinger
or
door
sodas.
Soda. Or,
Beppes.
Dole strawberry lemonade.
Some Beppes.
Beppes.
Yeah, no, this thing is wild, and it's just one of those concepts that never came to production, and I would just hate for the Envision 74 to turn into this.
Oh, just to have never had
somebody
a chance
50
to
years
shine.
from now looking at like, oh my God, you ever hear the Hyundai Envision 74? They're like, what? It became a concept. They're like, what? It never got put to production? And you're like, nope, just couldn't get the numbers together, I guess.
I don't really know how big the market would have been for this.
Come
but
on.
Considering, you know, the convertible,
the Pontiac
Tracker
Aztek,
and all that. Well, the Aztek came way later, like a decade later.
It would have worked. The fact that the Pontiac Aztek worked.
Well, have you ever seen the Aztek concept? What it was supposed to be? Before
I think we did look it up. I
Production?
think we did look it up before. Yeah.
I mean, it still doesn't look great, but it looked better.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
yeah.
I mean, I guess that could have worked. Like, we're in the era of like the convertible Geo Tracker.
I think it would have worked.
That.
I think it would have worked.
Suzuki, if the Suzuki V-Cross made it to production, this thing probably could have survived.
Yeah, but think about it. I mean, does the Vision 74 work today? I mean, aside from being electric, which could be any car. No.
I mean,
it won't sell.
I think it could. If it was priced correctly.
That's exactly what they said at the board meeting for the Stinger. The Pontiac Stinger. I rest my case.
No, I mean,
I'm rooting for it. I'm not rooting for it. I'm
look,
just
the
saying
way I look at it, if you look through, you know what we need to do? We need to look through Hyundai's entire lineup. That includes Kia, that includes Genesis, and see if they have a two-door vehicle, any two-door vehicle that's selling right now.
Yeah.
Because if they do, then the Envision 74 could have taken that place. Because it is a two-door hatchback. And it's a bit on the bigger side. It's not like a subcompact hatchback. So I think our best bet would be to like see if there's like a Genesis G70 coupe or something that they're making, because I don't remember. Hyundai had an Elantra coupe. I don't know if they still do. No, they don't.
Yeah.
I
mean, the end line's pretty small, but like if it's gonna be cool, there it is.
Does the Veloster count as a two-door?
No.
But
technically, isn't it 3?
Yeah. Technically, it's 4 if you count the hatch as a door.
Damn. Booyah. I don't think anyone counts a hatch as a door.
Why can I never remember how to spell Genesis?
I think that's a hatchback. I think you had it. I think it's Genesis.
Does Genesis have a two-door? No.
Yeah.
Well, regardless, I can still make the argument that it can sell because
it's awesome.
the Super sells.
Right, that's what I mean.
It would be in that class.
Yeah, I mean, but all of these things sell. But it doesn't. It's not the same thing. It doesn't look like a Hot Wheels. It looks like a DeLorean. It looks like something you and I would buy.
It looks like nothing else on the road, which is exactly why it would sell great. And it looks like nothing else on the road.
Supra looks exactly like what's on the road.
It looks nothing else. It looks like nothing else on the road, and no one's really calling it ugly. It has immediate appeal. Like if they produce this thing would sell.
It would work. I think. Look, I'm just playing devil's advocate. I want it to work. I need it to work. I want that thing to work.
Yeah, I mean, if Nissan can sell 300 ZXs, if Nissan can sell the Z and Toyota can sell the Supra, Hyundai could sell this.
Yeah,
they totally could.
Yeah,
I mean, it would be more expensive than those cars being electric, possibly.
Yeah,
if they had made it gasoline, they probably could sell it for the same price as the 300. Why do I keep calling it 300? As the Nissan Z and the Supra. And if they could match that price and put that body style out, tone it down a little bit.
This matches up with the Z. The Nissan Z, for sure.
It would sell so good.
Yeah. I think it would too. I agree. But just devil's advocate, because you think that the Stinger wouldn't have sold back then. I think the Stinger was a prime example of something that could have worked back then, but just somehow they didn't figure it out.
I mean, if Pontiac brought the Fiero to market, they probably could have brought that to market.
Yeah. Yeah, the Fiero worked, but now this Pontiac Stinger SUV crossover lunchbox cooler door.
They killed the Fiero because it was encroaching on the Corvette, and no one's allowed to touch the Corvette. But also because I think GM as a whole was like burning cash in that particular time period with, and they were losing market share fast to Japanese cars. So if that car is like a painfully 90s car, the Stinger. Pontiac Stinger, not the Kia Stinger.
Yeah.
Painfully 90s car, so it would have to exist in the 90s, but I don't think GM was in a position to do anything that exciting or niche in the 90s.
Yeah.
But then again, the Geostorm existed, so... But that was a pre-built car by Isuzu. All they had to do was slap a badge on it. They didn't have to pay for that development. I don't know.
What about the Geo? Is Geo under that same category?
Well, that's why I said the Geostorm.
I mean, Geo Tracker. So I just said Geo.
I think that was Suzuki, a Samurai, basically.
Right. Yeah. So there was a lot of those like fun cars that like came through with Chevy badges.
That GM didn't foot the bill for.
Exactly. Yeah. That's a good point. Well, dude, I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, I'm hoping that the Envision does become a real thing, but the Pontiac Stinger was just one of those things that I saw and I was like, what a lost opportunity.
There was another GM concept car that was from the 2000s, I think, like early 2000s, and it was, I believe it was supposed to be like a hydrogen fuel cell thing, but the whole idea was a modular, like, skateboard framework thing that you could put different bodies on. And there was one, and God, I wish I could remember what it was called, but I want to look it up really quick.
Like a Barbie car.
See if I could just find it with that. It's from the early 2000s. No.
That new Colorado is dope. That was an accidental research, but new Chevy Colorado is dope. Hey, you brought up the Corvette. You want to...
There it is, that thing.
Oh, yeah. Man, every podcast, as hard as we try...
Cars.
will end up with cars. If you're tuning out right now, it's okay. We're going to transition to a car episode. But skateboard automotive platform.
Well, that's just the concept. I'm trying to see if I can... No.
General Motors. That's not it.
Yeah, I want to find the
like
name
what
of that
exactly
exact
that one was.
Car. Well, this isn't helpful.
It may have just been a concept.
Oh, the GM Autonomy?
GM Autonomy, a vehicle claim.
Is that what it was called?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Just try GM Autonomy then. Just see what comes up then. concept.
Yeah.
Yep.
The GM autonomy concept.
Autonomy.
But yeah, as you can see, this was a skateboard, and
so that was your frame.
You could put different bodies on it, and that was the body they developed.
What was the engine?
I think it was either an all electric, or it was like a hydrogen fuel cell.
Yeah. I think this was a Hot Wheels.
It totally looks like a Hot Wheels.
Yeah. Dude, how about the Chrysler M12 or MC12?
ME412.
412.
Get it right.
ME412.
Put some
All
respect
right,
on its
sorry.
name.
I'm just this thing reminds me of that. I can't even I can't even believe I even remembered that much.
Well, here's the thing. Chrysler from that era.
Yeah, what a cool time.
They were done so dirty by Daimler.
Yeah.
Daimler was the parent company. They owned Mercedes-Benz, and they had these concepts and these ideas that were too good, and Mercedes brought the hammer down on them.
Yeah, don't get big on us.
They did not like the ME412 because there were two concepts that Chrysler rolled out that were just showstoppers, stunning, and the fact that they made them drivable, slapped it together. They put them together so fast and they were so nice that Mercedes put the kibosh on it because it was a danger to, I believe at the time it was the SLR McLaren. You remember that car?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, they were rolling that out.
Long nose,
yep,
they
were rolling that out. They took forever to develop it and all that. They spent a lot of money, and then Chrysler shits this out and it's better.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, absolutely the fuck not.
Mercedes also had that really big mid-engine vehicle, more of like a race car.
That was in the 90s.
That was in the 90s?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
The CLK GTR.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, CLK. CLK, it was an AMG. Yeah, I forget what all the other letters were, but yeah, that thing was cool too, and that was honestly closer to the platform that it was.
Yeah, so there's the ME412.
Yeah, how sweet.
This thing right here, the Firepower. Look at that.
Chrysler Firepower.
It's like an Aston Martin.
That is the thing that you were saying that was trying
Maybe. I forget if it was this one or if it was
that
the ME412.
looks like it's competing with
the SLR McLaren.
Yeah. Or is it SLS or SLR? SLR.
Yeah. But yeah, the responsible for the design, Brian Nylander.
Yeah, it came with a 6.1 Hemi, inspired by the Crossfire.
With style and cues from the Chrysler Crossfire, which was a dumpster fire. No one likes that car.
I like them. I'm with that. They're cheap and they're fast. I'll do a whole podcast on that.
It is a Mercedes with Chrysler skin.
They're cheap and they're fast. No, we'll come back to that.
But it looks like a dog taking a dump.
Dude, look at the back end of that other car. Fuck, it looks good. Damn, it looks good.
Yeah, the Chrysler
I'm
Firepower.
wrong. Yeah,
that was a sexy.
But
car.
look, you get the dumpy back end. That's what you paid for. How much is that Crossfire supposed to go for? Do they even project how much it was going to cost?
This was basically a Viper in a tuxedo.
Yeah, so it's going to be upwards of $200,000, and you can buy a Chrysler Crossfire that'll do 160 no issue for
here's
15
the
grand.
Let's go down the imaginary.
They were probably 25 grand new.
Let's go down the imaginary path where they actually made this, right?
Yeah.
Again, this was on a Viper platform, but it had a 6.0.
Yeah, you have a white one. I have a black one.
There is a chance that if this thing survived into the age of the Hellcats, that you could get that with a supercharged Hemi.
Dude,
that would have been sick.
Look, they made the Viper. I guess you're right. I almost thought, I was like, did we lose this? But this was. You're right. This was literally the Chrysler's version of the Viper.
What? Dodge Viper-based concept car.
Yeah, I didn't read that. I'm sorry.
But yeah.
Yo, reading's cool.
Reading's cool.
But yeah, back to the MC.
The ME412.
412. Yeah.
ME mid-engine. 4 was four-wheel drive, and 12 was 12-cylinder.
$400,000.
I'm sorry, no, 4 was not four-wheel drive. Do you know what 4 was? 4 turbos.
Yeah.
Quad turbo.
12
V12.
cylinder. Yeah. There's the same. What was in this?
It was a Mercedes V12.
Okay.
This might have been the car that pissed Mercedes off, actually.
Yeah.
The more I think about it.
They probably pissed them off more because they didn't even have a competitor. They didn't have anything like this.
Yeah.
Mercedes, I still don't think technically does.
Not.
I think it's the Mercedes SLS.
That's a newer car.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking about. I'm like, I wanted to come back to that. I was like, I know an SLS exists, and they have an electric version, which is even faster. It's cool as fuck. Yes, the SLR. That's I think sweet.
Yeah, it's
that's
not
exactly what that concept car was, though.
Oh, the firepower.
Yeah, firepower.
Yeah,
man.
But
car history is so cool. What a beautiful car. Can you go back real quick? Oh, yeah. SLS, yeah.
Yeah, that is a car. You are right.
Oh, see that? One down. Yeah, right there. Nope, to the right. Yep. Yep. Yes, that. What
that,
cool
like,
color.
Screen.
Yeah.
Metallic.
Look like a metallic turquoise. Like a green, blue almost. God, what a cool car.
And then they dump the exhaust right there.
Yeah, right behind the wheel. Front wheel. What a sweet car.
Look at that.
Yeah. Doors open.
Well, it's not just that. They got the wings deployed. I keep forgetting that thing had a deployable wing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Mercedes wasn't happy that Chrysler was doing big things and kind of overshadowing the debut of their baby. Yeah. And they put the kibosh on it. They brought the hammer down.
Look at how close that shifter is to all of the instruments. Can you zoom into that picture? Look at how close that is. Is it my eyeballs?
No, it's. If you put it in park, you might
smash your fingers.
Punch the dashboard.
I guess they didn't think of that.
Guess not.
Fuck. Hey, cool car. More money, more problem, huh?
Yeah, I definitely need to look into that rivalry between Mercedes and...
Yeah, we'll bring it back.
Because that was interesting.
Yeah. Can we just wrap this up with the S2000 rant, the Honda S2000?
Yeah.
So I guess we'll just clean this up with the S2000. So as you know, Honda S2000 today, an amazing car, has held true to every standard that Honda ever wanted it to be. It is an amazing car, and it is also not worth $25,000. You know what is worth $25,000? Is a less mile 2005 C6 Corvette. That's worth $25,000.
You definitely get more car.
Oh yeah.
For your money.
I mean, I think,
I'm talking physically. Like, you get a much larger vehicle, you have a lot more metal.
I mean, I don't want to say the S2K can outhandle, but I do want to say that on any course, the Corvette gets around the track faster.
The S2000 is significantly lighter, so on a really, really tight technical course, I do think it has the edge. But that's besides the point. You're talking about value, and the S2000 is one of those millennial hero cars, just like the Supra and the RX-7, the R34 GTR.
Nostalgia plays into this.
To the lower tier of it, the Civic Si, the 99 2000 Civic Si Type R, the Integra. And that's why a lot of these cars are bloated in value. So, you have people our age who are getting, like, established into their careers. They're now making good money. They're no longer, just job hopping and, trying to negotiate for a 20-cent raise. They've got excess cash, and now they want to buy that hero car that they looked up to.
They want to waste it?
Yeah.
They want to waste it?
They're totally wasting it.
They're going to waste it. They're going to waste it.
But now they've got the disposable income, and they're going to buy the first clean example they can. Cost be damned.
I'm just saying...
And it drives the price up.
If you paid $25,000 for an S2K today... That means you haven't driven a Corvette C6. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I am telling you why the price is
but
it's one of those halo cars.
The prices come up because, and I'll also agree that also, like, from Honda, that's a one-of-a-kind car. Like, Honda doesn't have anything else that, like, compares to it. You know, it's not.
Yeah,
it's not.
They don't
it's not
have
even
a Roadster.
Yeah, it's not even close to like being the same as like a Type R Civic. You know, a Type R Civic is even smaller of a niche, and only means like something cool to like the person driving it. Whereas like the S2K has a cool like personal feeling.
It's kind of got that universal appeal.
Exactly, the person who's driving it, but everyone else around them also knows that like they're driving a cool car.
That's a sports car.
Good, beautiful looking car.
That is a sports car.
Yeah, and reliable. So the person who buys it is knowing that they're going to buy something that's, you know,
it's a Honda.
It's a Honda. So I get it. I'm not saying you shouldn't buy an S2K. I'm just saying you shouldn't pay $25,000 on an S2K. It
you wait long
insane.
Enough, then they might come back down.
They might come back down, and then you're okay to buy one. But is what I'm saying.
You have to wait.
People are doing it.
You have to wait.
People are buying $25,000 S2Ks. And that I have a problem.
You got to wait till the Zoomers have their own hero cars to start spending their money on.
Because
if you look, the cost of like muscle cars, they're not like, you can find a lot of 60s cars for not that expensive now. Because all the boomers are now getting old and dying. And the cars that they loved are falling by the wayside.
Yeah, I know that you're more like focused on like that part, but I just feel like you're focused on like the price of it. What I'm more focused on is like $25,000.
The why of it?
Like if you want to get into a less than 3,000 pound vehicle with 200 plus horsepower, and you want it to be a 2-seater saloon convertible, that's BMW Z4.
Yeah, that's an
Come
option.
on. And it is literally like if you pay anything less than 10 grand for one that was even newer and less miles. I mean, like these ones that I'm talking about that are the S2Ks that are $25,000 that people are buying.
They're low mileage examples.
They're high mileage examples.
I thought we looked.
No, they're like these vehicles are 170,000 miles.
But
and then
that's low for a Honda.
And then all of these BMWs that I'm like referencing that are less than 10K and probably even like newer. Like some of these like have like iDrive. Like some of these they're like that new.
iDrive's terrible. That's not a selling point.
It is a aging perspective.
Yeah.
Of how new they are. Is that they have the bullshit BMW engineered iDrive terrible integration. But those vehicles 10 grand.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fraction.
How many miles?
Under 100K all day long, if not less, if not 25.
Well, BMW miles, that's like 200,000 miles.
Well, I don't think so. I hold a higher respect for like what a BMW can outlast and its fortitude. I mean, look, there's some things that go wrong.
I have a very low opinion of German reliability.
But look. Pound for pound and reliability and maintenance, it pales into comparison to the Honda. You're right, but is the difference $15,000?
I understand.
Yeah.
I completely understand.
I mean, it's such a better.
But I almost think that's indicative of like people bought the Hondas and they drove them and they didn't brake, so they kept driving them. That's why they're all high mileage.
Oh, and then again, like no one's saying that the S2K is not a good car.
No, it's just not worth $25,000.
It's not. Yeah. But you're right. I think like people who did have them drove the balls off those cars. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I know
for
Furman
sure.
Did.
Huh?
So I know Furman did.
Yeah. No, he definitely did. Yeah, he definitely did. But I mean, they're all of them are like awesome, cool cars, and I would buy every single one of them. But I just know exactly how much I would pay for each and every single one.
What's a fair price for an S2000 with like 120,000 miles?
$7 grand.
That's what you'd pay?
That's what I would pay. $7,000. And
I have some bad news for you.
170K.
I said 120 in my.
Oh, I thought you said 100. Okay, 120.
In my example.
No, okay. So 120K is something that still has life into it. Mm-hmm. It's like not until you get that 150,000 miles that I feel like
that's when you start
the
worrying
rest
about
of like the bushings and like the weird stuff that comes up that you wouldn't think about are gonna like start to get the clunks and the top doesn't go up anymore. So yeah,
or
100
leaks.
Or leaks. 120 is good. I mean, you can pay 12 grand for something that like has close to 100,000 miles. 12 grand is probably a good price. As soon as you get over like 150 to 140,
I'm not paying more than
I want to pay dirt. I want to pay dirt is what I want to pay.
Because you have to drop another $3,000 and replacing all the bushings and the suspension.
And it's just the heartache. It's the heartache of like buying a new like cool thing, and it's just like you're going around turns in a back road and it's just clunking through a turn, and then you just start to feel like you didn't really buy anything anymore. Yeah, it's like this isn't what I wanted, and you could have paid $10,000 for something with way less miles that won't start clunking until.
But it will leak oil.
It will leak oil. It has to. If it doesn't leak oil, you should fill it up. That's a BMW. Yeah. Now I've never owned the Z4s, but obviously I've owned the older BMWs.
I've owned a BMW as well.
Yeah, but none of the like new BMWs and I also don't want to include any of these BMWs that also have the iDrive, like anything that's older than like 2004. Maybe even I think the Z4 is actually kind of weird. It may have like kind of skipped a year before it got like to, because like I think the E46 started in 2001, but I think the Z4 change started in like 2002, 2003. So I would say pre that, they're awesome. But anything above that, I honestly, I can't.
You know what BMWs I like?
I bet the new ones are probably dope.
If I was to buy another BMW, I would get a carbureted BMW. I am so over their just electronics failing.
I think that you have to find that sweet spot. So I think like now the E36s may be getting too old, and they like may fall susceptible to the same problems that you are having this like the 80s BMWs issues. So maybe they start to fall into that.
I don't want that moving sweet spot.
Yeah, but those like late 90s. Early 2000s BMWs with the technology that they had and the innovation and like the engineering to make it all work, I think it was good. It was like kind of after
this is where we start getting to the point where the complications start to stack though.
Yeah.
So if something does go wrong, it's going to go fucking wrong.
Yeah. But even if they do go fucking wrong, I mean, they have some pretty sweet cars.
No, they have. I mean,
it was worth the ride. Yeah. I mean, these new F30s and like the M3s and stuff, like, but even the M5s, just full body.
Yeah, but a 2002 with carburetors,
100 horsepower.
Yeah, God, if I could get a hold of one, I could
just
never
burning.
afford one. But
yeah,
an E9.
Yeah, I'm with you. I and we talk about this a lot, but like just the horsepower doesn't always equal happy.
Yeah, I am super content with low horsepower.
Definitely not safe.
Safety is
safety,
state of mind.
Healthy, financially imposed by tickets.
Look, man, I drove a 74 Beetle on the turnpike. Nothing scares me anymore.
Yeah. Well, I just mean as far as like going too fast. Like I'm with you, like not going too fast, buying like who cares?
Yeah, I mean, I do like my cars to be able to keep up with traffic at the minimum.
Yeah,
but I was able to do that barely in my Beetle.
Yeah, but they don't need 800 horse.
No.
Yeah,
but that can be a whole discussion for another podcast.
Yeah, we should.
We are running on like an hour 40.
All right, yeah, let's wrap this thing up. We've turned this into like a whole other car podcast.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry about that. But as always. Much love. Love you guys. That'll be it.
See you in the next one.